Hello, all. We'll start shortly. There's people still joining, so we'll give it another minute or two until we get rolling.
Funny, babe.
Hey, Gail, can you see the slides?
Yes, thank you. Welcome. The compliance team is all here. It looks to me like the reporting team is all here, and you all are all here. So welcome. Next slide. A few brief compliance updates. Ernie, I'm going to ask you to do yet another update in terms of the expenditure category modification process.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. The previously scheduled Monday modification meetings, which were at 11:30 a.m., are now canceled, and everyone, all the ROs and the designated contacts should have been notified about this. In favor of including modification along with eligibility in the recurring meetings that are scheduled from 12 to 1 every Monday and Thursday. You may submit eligibility, you may submit both eligibility and modification forms to our generic email. For Mondays, they need to be in by close of business on Wednesday. For Thursdays, they need to be in by close of business on Monday. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Excuse me. For the Monday review, they need to be in by close of business on Thursday. And for the Wednesday review, they need to be in by close of business by Wednesday. And that's my update. Thank you.
Thanks, Ernie. We will try and keep you updated as we go through the change in the processes. So hang in there. We'll arrive at a solid place eventually. We are going to be adding additional 2 CFR 200 compliance documents to our website. Coming quite soon will be conflict of interest, procurement, cost sharing, and we would like to invite you to let us know if there are any 2 CFR 200 compliance documents that you would like to see that we have not already posted on our website. We want to be responsive to your needs. So don't hesitate in asking us to do some additional documents that you would find helpful. As a standard reminder that we do all the time, the use of POs with SLFRF funds is not allowed unless an approved exception is received from OSC. You can contact your compliance liaison for more information on that. Next slide. I am now going to turn this over to Stacy to give some KPMG updates. Stacy.
Gail, I'm going to skip this because Stacy is having lots of technical difficulties.
Okay.
So we're going to skip this.
Hold on.
Oh, there she is. Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm on my phone and there's like a bit of a lag, so apologies. So we're ready for the KPMG update, I'm guessing.
Yes, we are. Go for
Okay.
it.
Sorry, apologies, everybody. I don't know what's going on with my laptop and also my phone apparently. So anyway, just a quick update on where the monitoring engagement with KPMG stands. We just recently kind of finished the first major deliverable, which was the risk assessment activity along with the guidance review. KPMG has provided all of the agencies with draft recommendations based upon the risk assessment activity and the review of each department's guidance documents. We are getting ready next week to start high-level kickoff meetings with all the departments. Those will be quick 30-minute meetings with the departments just to kind of set the stage for what we're going to do next, which is going to be a series of working sessions to address the recommendations. We've developed a dashboard that we'll share with each one of the agencies that will allow us to track each one of the recommendations that KPMG had and develop a timetable and prioritize those and really be able to allow us to put our, put a game plan together for how we're going to implement each one of those in the department. So next week will be a quick meeting just to set, like I said, set the expectations, figure out a meeting cadence with each one of the departments and get those meetings scheduled. So the most important thing I want to mention here is my team is here to help you every step of the way as we go through the risk assessment recommendation implementation phase. We're not going to leave you out there hanging with those. We've got sample best practice documents, sample documents that we've collected across the agencies, and we'll be able to share those with the departments as we go through each and every one of those recommendations. So you are not alone in that. Timeline wise, like I said, kickoff meetings next week, then we'll schedule the first set of working sessions and start to work through those. Some departments may be able to get through their list of recommendations quicker than others, and we'll just kind of, it's going to be on a department by department basis. So I don't have, we keep getting asked, how long is this going to take? I don't have a good answer on that. It's just going to depend on how many recommendations you have. If it's a brand new policy that may need to be implemented at your agency, those typically take a little bit longer to work through, get approval, all of those things. But we will be there to support you and provide technical assistance each step of the way. So while that's happening, KPMG is continuing to push forward with their next step of the project, and that is the actual transaction level monitoring. Over the last couple of weeks, KPMG requested general ledgers from each one of the agencies. Those were all submitted. Thank you to all the departments that submitted your general ledgers. It's appreciated. They are currently right now conducting their statistical sampling of transactions from those general ledgers, and we'll be dropping those sampled transactions into a draft monitoring plan that we'll be sharing with each department over the next few days. It's going to be really key to take a look at those, look at the sample transactions, see if we need to potentially pull some additional transactions. That may be based on some additional risk or items that you want to to consider as part of the monitoring piece. So that draft monitoring plan will be shared with everybody. Those are tailored for your department and the number of transactions that were selected based off of your level of risk, which was determined in that first activity. KPMG will then request backup documentation for those sample transactions. So that could be everything from payroll, time and effort, if it's a subrecipient transaction. But we're going to work with you and give you a timeline on when that's going to happen as well. Generally, once the request goes out, we generally give departments 2 weeks to gather that backup documentation and upload it to the secure site. But we'll work with you with questions on that. So as far as when monitoring results will be available and shared, it is kind of tentative right now. I think on the early end, it would be sometime in December, for sure by January, but it kind of depends on how long it takes departments to respond back to not only the draft monitoring plan, but then also provide that backup documentation that's going to be requested for the sample transaction. So all that has to happen. They have to have time to review, digest all of that stuff, and then prepare the draft monitoring results document, which would be shared out with departments as well. So that's kind of generally where we are right now. I think that's all, Gail.
Great. Thanks, Stacy. I want to respond to a question that came via the chat to clarify, Tana. The POs instead of grant agreements are not allowed without checking with OSC. All of the construction that would go through OSC will follow your processes if it's on state property as normal. I hope that answers your questions. Now, moving on to reporting update. I think that probably Gina Sanchez is going to be doing the report. Am I right?
Yes, Gail, thank you so much. This is Gina. Thank you all so much. Just a couple quick items for updating from a reporting perspective this month. Obviously, our team is diligently working on completing the review of the reports that all of the agencies have submitted through Gravity. Things are actually moving along pretty well. We thank you all so much for being, so responsive and really making this a priority. I think we're in a really good spot. We have some items that we're still working on, but hopefully not a whole bunch more that's left with regard to getting that data kind of in a good place. I did want to note, we will have some key highlights and training regarding the submissions in the near future. We'll kind of hit some of those key points in the next slide as well. Just want to mention and remind everyone, if you are, previous slide. If you do have any questions, or if you need anything, any clarification on anything, we do ask that you please reach out to your agency OSC reporting contact. We ask, start with the accountants. They're really great, and they can kind of handle most of the questions, and they will, get back to you as quickly as they can. Also, the email box is available as well. And all of that contact information is a little bit later in this presentation, just as a reminder of which agencies report to which accountant. So please, utilize those contacts if you need us. We're here. That's what we're here for, is to help you all out and answer questions as we can along the way. Doesn't always have to be when we're just doing reporting. Also, as we start looking at items that we have identified, and just wanting to kind of work with you all a little bit more closely coming up for this next reporting period, we want to just kind of look at some ways in which we could look at and identify items kind of more proactively. So we'll be doing some comparisons to some data, looking at it more on like a monthly basis, see if we can identify anything more specifically that maybe we can address earlier in the reporting period. More to come about that. Also, reporting changes between aggregate and discrete obligations. We see a lot of that happening. Lots going on, a lot of movement. I should also say between discrete and aggregate and discrete, vice versa there. We know that there's a lot of changes going on within the agencies. Things are moving around a little bit. And so we're just going to have a little bit more guidance on how we'd like to see that reported going forward. Another key piece that we'll be looking at is looking at referencing like the governor's appropriation in place of just the words Gov's IA, or IA Gov's office, something like that. That's just going to help us tie out all of the information a little bit more tightly as we move forward. As you all know, this particular reporting period, we did roll out the expansion of individuals and reporting those, so that it's individuals, salaries, individuals, scholarships, and individuals other. We'll also be looking to do something similarly with revenue replacement. So kind of same format, revenue replacement, individuals, revenue replacement, scholarships, which may not be applicable, and then revenue replacement other. That'll just help us as we move forward with the reporting and gathering information as we get to the date where we'll be looking at obligations, things related to salary ongoing after December 31st of 2024. And then also some user guide changes. With all of these other things that are going on, we will be just taking a look at the user guide and making some updates and changes to that to accurately reflect some of these things that we're talking about. The one thing I wanted to say to you all is no worries though. We will be covering these topics in the upcoming office hours in a lot more detail. So, this is just more of a preview of what's to come. And then of course, if you have any questions for us, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks,
Gail.
Gina. Just a reminder about the resources that are on the website. And here's the mailbox that you can send questions to, that you can submit change requests to, and anything else you need without identifying a specific person. So we do check that constantly. Next slide. Questions and answers. Hopefully y'all have a bunch of questions for us. Don't be shy. You can put it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask your question.
I'll start off.
Great.
This is Barb Hayes with University of Colorado, Denver. I have a question about some relatively new funding that was signed by the governor in mid-May 2022. I'm sitting here looking for it. It came under Senate Bill 22-147. And it's very significant for our institution. And we're trying to get some information on how we can get that intergovernmental agency agreement moving. And I'm not sure if it's being administered through CDHE. So who would I work with to kind of find out where we're at with that?
Great question. You can reach out to the RO for higher ed, who is Misty Ruthven. You could also reach out to Corey Evans.
Okay, I know Corey.
Yeah, reach out to Corey. And I'm sure he would be able to direct you in the right direction.
Okay. And I don't know Misty. How do you spell Misty's last name?
It's an interesting one. It is Ruthven, Ruthven.
Oh, Ruth.
VEN.
Okay, got it. Ruthven. Okay.
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Catherine. Yes, it's easier to read it. Spelled
Thank
out.
you, Kath.
Thank you.
Got it.
Great. Any other questions?
Yes, hi, this is Robin Ventura, Contracts Administrator for DOC. And regarding SAM.gov, after our last session that we had with y'all, we went and tried to search SAM.gov, and none of us at DOC were having any luck. I don't know if we're doing it wrong or if we really need to have a login. But in that regard, are we requiring that the contractors that we're contracting with are actually registered with SAM.gov and SAM.gov? And if so, how do we go about that?
Excellent question. The answer to the first question is yes. You have to check SAM.gov to make sure that contractors, subrecipients, anyone receiving federal funds has not been suspended or debarred by the federal government. Now, how to check SAM.gov? I am going to ask anybody else to chime in here because I know that SAM.gov, they recently, made the changes, and it is taking a very long time for people to get registered. And oh, James, just unmute and talk, will you please?
Hi, this is James Ponder, CDLE procurement. Gail and I were actually just discussing this very question. So your grantees do need to have a SAM or UEI number. They can free register with SAM.gov to obtain their number. From my understanding, the Fed tried to migrate as many DUNS number holders over to the SAM UEI. It's just taking them a while. So if your grantee asks how to do that, as soon as they go to SAM.gov, they can click on an item stating, get my SAM or UEI number, and all the instructions appear right in a pop-up. The link I just laid down here is the exclusions link for us to search to see if there are any disbarred entities. If it pops up with no results found, then that particular contractor or potential subrecipient has not been disbarred. You just need to make sure that their legal name is being entered. Their legal name should be in our core system, so utilize that name when searching.
Thank you, James. Also, Gabe indicates you do need to log in to do the search. And there is a tutorial on sam.gov. Thank you, Nancy. That is helpful. I can tell you, we are hearing, originally they said it would take 10 days for someone to show up in sam.gov after going in there and inputting all the information. We are hearing it is more like 4 to 6 weeks. And so you should advise people to plan accordingly. Anyone receiving federal funds has to have a UEI and be registered in sam.gov. Great question.
So what if, so if we have a contractor who hires a code consultant, and we don't necessarily know that they've subcontracted with a code consultant, how would we do, I mean, how would that go?
The interesting thing about federal funds is that all of the requirements do flow down. So if you contract with an entity, the requirement to not subcontract with anyone who has been suspended or debarred also flows down. So you should definitely advise them of that, and it should probably be into your contract with them.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I think Allie Terry has offered to assist if you need any help. Thanks, Allie. Any other questions? We're getting some good ones today.
I'm going to ask one more question.
Go ahead.
All right. So on some of our existing funding, we have a vendor who our institution would not deem to be a subcontract. It's someone that's going to be doing quite a bit of work though, and it's well over the $50,000 threshold for reporting, I guess. You know, we definitely set it up as a purchase order. So we should get prior approval is what I'm seeing from that previous slide that you highlighted. We should be getting approval from the Office of State Controller before we have that PO issued. Tammy, I don't know if Tammy knows. I was going to email Tammy Nelson about it.
Is Tammy on?
I thought she was, but
I am on. So
There she is.
and Gail, please chime in if I'm not stating this correctly, but the requirement to not use a PO relates to sub grants where we don't want you to use a PO in lieu of a grant agreement, a full terms and conditions grant agreement. If you're buying goods and services, not subgranting, you can do that on a purchase order.
Okay, that's what we're doing. And I vetted it against our subrecipient determination checklist and vetted it with our director of contracts, and he agrees that this is a vendor relationship. So I guess but it's $100,000. So it's not small.
It doesn't matter the amount, it's the relationship that matters. So if
Okay.
it's truly a
And the
vendor,
work that they're performing.
yeah,
right?
if it's a vendor and they're doing work in the capacity that their business does that work, really kind of unrelated to, the grant, in those situations, and it's just a straight vendor, POs are fine.
Okay.
And
I will
Gina,
go ahead.
Gina did also confirm that in the chat as well.
Oh, okay.
Salazar.
Thank you, Tam. All right. Thanks, Gina. Okay, so I know this is being recorded, but I may write you an email just to confirm that. So thanks, Tammy.
Certainly.
Thanks. Sorry, I tried to go back and clarify that a little bit earlier. Apparently, I did not clarify enough. Thank you so much, Tammy, for helping out. Other questions? Okay. Well, we are going to be happy to give you back some time here. So in terms of contacts, these are the OSC contacts. Of course, State Controller, Tammy, we all know. Stacy, we all know. And the mailbox, as we previously mentioned. This is the list of your OSC compliance liaisons. Please reach out to us with any questions or assistance. We are always happy to answer questions and help you as you negotiate through any compliance issues having to do with SLFRF. Here are the reporting primary contacts for you as you negotiate through your fund reporting requirements for SLFRF as well. And for both the reporting and compliance individuals that are your contacts, you will also find backups. And so, for instance, if someone is out on vacation, then feel free to reach out to the backup. And all of us are here to support you and help you through. Next slide. Oh, well, the next meeting is not actually October 20th, because that would mean we have 2 meetings today. So the next meeting actually might be rearranged because the next meeting would be we're good. The next meeting, November 17th at 3 o'clock. So we hope to see you all there on the 17th. Thank you very much for being with us today. Great questions. And we look forward to seeing you again next month, although many of you will be seen long before that or talking to long before that. Thanks to all who chimed in with helpful information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.